All right. So what I usually do is I kind of lay in where my, and you can move if you need to see, it's okay. I usually go under the trees, so I'm not actually painting the top of them. I need to find out where my curve is. It comes out to here. The biggest thing is I don't draw everything out when I start. I usually just do a little tiny bit. And this goes behind the trees. Okay. So it's kind of hard to see, but I'm just laying out areas of color. Can you guys see that okay from the back? Yeah. So just where my color's going to be. Like there's where it changes. There's my road. I don't really need to do too many details because then you're going to be painting like paint by number, and I want you to paint a little differently than that. Up until this point, a lot of people are drawing and then painting in the lines. Does that sound familiar? This is more of a freer paint. You should be using kind of your whole arm, your whole shoulder. This is the Bob Ross thing. Bob Ross never drew first, did he? You guys saw, everybody was like, oh, Bob Ross, I'm painting like Bob Ross. So I got water, I got my brushes, I got my colors. I'm going to start with the blue, and I'm going to also put the blue in very lightly as the road, and then I can show you how to do clouds. I also can show you how to fade the colors. That's probably 3 or 4 layers of really thin paint. The thing I saw with acrylics is people were painting really heavy, so we want to paint thinner. You add a little water on your palette. If I turn my palette, all these waters are going to spill everywhere. I didn't get any green. I think I got it, but I didn't put it on my palette. So everything I used there was just mixing colors. Somebody else said, I don't know how to make it bright and colorful. Well, if you mix your yellows and your blues, you're going to get more vivid colors than just the color out of the palette, or out of the tube. So I usually try not to use colors straight. I usually try to blend them with something, or thin them, or add something to them. So like the first thing I want to do, I have some really dark blue here. I'm using phthalo blue for this, and I got to mix it up so it really blends well, because if it's too watery it's going to drop everywhere. Now it's going to be a little thinner than I want, a little thicker than I want. So alright. If I do it when it's pretty wet, I'm going to show you how to put the clouds in. This will stain the canvas, which is okay. It's not going to hurt anything to stain the canvas. But if I brush it on here really thin, I'm not going to get that really thick, like I painted in middle school or elementary school look. I'm going to get a watery, almost a watercolor look. Now, I'm painting on a canvas, or on an easel, and I'm more than happy to get the easels down for people, so we probably will start painting on easels. I just have you draw before we do that. It's hard to draw on an easel. Acrylic's really nice because when you put it on here, you can wipe it off really quick. So if I want to do clouds, I'm just going to take a paper towel or a cloth, and I just dab it off the canvas. It doesn't soak into the canvas right away, so you guys can see that. And you can just rub it off. I had a very famous professor show us how to do this. It was like the coolest thing. Oh, get back here.
It's a touchy board.
Now, this is that part where I usually stray from the picture. I'll kind of make it look like I feel like I want it to look. I won't necessarily go straight for the picture. Now you can see there's these little mountains in here. I'll do those later. But you see how you get that cloud feel to it? That makes sense? So thin is good on canvas to start. Now it will run, so you have to find that nice kind of really, come on picture. Now I didn't try to go in with gray first. I didn't try to go in and make my clouds. I'm just going in and kind of getting that essence, because I can come back in now and add darker colors. I can come in and add some grays over top. But sky. So I can add more to it. But I've laid in my color for it. I'm going to start I want to do this straight. Now, the street's going to be like blue, but it's got a little other colors in it, so maybe some orange. Something to dull it and make it a little, oh, that was ugly. Something to make it a little less blue. Let's get a little red in there. So I want a grayish color, a blue-gray. Make it nice and watery. And I'm just going to lay in where I think my road should go. And it's just kind of to give me something to work with. Now you can see that I have other colors in it. That's fine. I'll go there. Because I'm going to get a chance to clean this all up. Now I can put my trees around it. I still have room to put trees. I got this place for my... And I did the same thing with the barns over here. I did them really thin and really light. And I don't think there's any... Oh, I can do some rocks if I want here. So let's get some rocks in there. Now, I am very, very comfortable with people doing this. I think everyone in the room can do it. I wouldn't teach you how to do it if I didn't think you could. But we have to kind of get away from some of the things we get hung up on. Some people like to paint thick. Well, you get to paint thick, just not right away. Because I can adjust this at any point and change what I'm painting. Because it's so thin. I mean, as long as it hasn't completely dried, I can wipe it away. So when we switch to canvas, that is what I want you to think about. Okay? Does that make sense? I gotta talk more this time. So you can see I'm starting to build it up. I can lay things out. I can come back and put a yellow line on here if I want. I can lighten this. After it dries, I'm gonna put white over it. And then I can put my shadows in. So we're not painting by number. We're painting a scene. And the whole scene has to blend together. So now I need to do some greens. I like them thin. Now my greens were yellow and phthalo blue, which is the really dark blue. I'm pretty happy with them. Now, that's a little light. Let's make this a little darker. And as long as it's thin, I can come back and adjust the color and put lighter colors on top. So I might come back up here and kind of get my colors in. But one of the first things I want you to do on your canvas is get your paint laid out so that you've kind of, it's called color blocking. And it's something that a lot of people aren't familiar with. So color block your painting so you see where things are going to go. Can you see okay, Makai? Do what? What I'll do is I'll post this up so people can see it online for other classes too. So now I'm just color blocking the areas. This has got a lot of different colors up here. I don't want to paint up into the sky yet. That's what I'm going to do when I get darker. And you can see that there's yellows in there, but this is kind of the color that I want everything to be until I put my lighter colors in. So I'm just going to color block it out. I can make it really thin. All right. Finish that up. And as long as I stay thin, I can add dark colors, yellow colors. Yellow doesn't work really well unless you have white with it, because the yellow is very transparent and it doesn't hold its weight. So now I've kind of blocked out everything. I'll put this, and this can go over here a little darker, but I don't have to do it right away either. So when I have people that work on this for 2 or 3 weeks, I call shenanigans. That means they're using less than a class period to paint. They're doing everything else. So I want you to lay it out quick. I want you to get your colors in. And then we go in and start working on details. Okay? So really those details that people have an issue with are like the last thing. That make sense? Okay, I want you to go get your paints or be paints with somebody else. People were putting palettes in the back after they were done and they were wet and they had paint on them. Your palette's yours. Keep it in your bin. Don't put it back over there. You can leave paint in it and put it in a bag. It'll dry out a little bit over a class period, so bag it. If you put water in it, you can drain it, you can dab it. Any questions? I gave you a lot of info. Is there anybody that's ready to start their canvas? You ready to start? Yeah.
We're doing the picture that we used.
You ready to start?
Right.
Ready to start? So basically your little picture is kind of like your sketch for this big. You've painted it now 2 times, so you're ready for your 3rd. The only thing that I really want to see from you is working on this. I'll have more cloths tomorrow. Right now I just have a couple and I'll cut them up for you. Does that make sense? Are we good? Alright, so I have some canvases.
Can I use the bathroom?
Yes.
Thank you.